Hello everybody, welcome back to RockaJazon Cooks. I'm Jason. We're here with episode number 5. And we're going to make one of about everybody's favorite. Pizza. We're going to do our own dough. You can add whatever toppings you want. I'm only going to put a couple on mine, but that don't mean you can't change it up. Do what you want to do. That's what this whole channel's about, is taking something, building on it, making it great. So how about we get started? Everything we're going to need to make our pizza dough: a lot of white powder. Look at all this stuff right here. We've got us 3/4 of a tablespoon or teaspoon of salt, and next to it right there we've got 1 tablespoon of sugar. Here, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Here we have 1 pack of, it's about 7 grams, active dry yeast. Right here we've got equal parts of 1/4 of a teaspoon, and that is rosemary, onion powder, and garlic. And then sitting next to that, we've got 3/4 cup of warm water. All right, here's what we're going to need for our wet ingredients. What we're going to do is we're going to take this 3/4 cup of warm water and we're going to pour it into our mixing bowl. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take half of our sugar and just sprinkle it down in there. Just like that. What that sugar is going to be, it's going to be food for our dry yeast. We're going to cut this pack open and we're going to dump it down in there. Okay. Maybe make the hole just a little bit bigger. Anybody else have that trouble, or is it just me? Now what that's going to happen is we're going to stir all this up, and that yeast is going to feed on that sugar and make itself fat and gassy. All right, here's our 2 cups of flour. Make sure you bang it against your bowl so it's nice and loud there. Here's our salt. Here's our rest of our sugar. And then here's the try mix. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my whiz and we'll stir this up. Alright, we're back here. Our yeast has consumed our sugar and bubbled up. So we're going to put our dough hook on our mixer. What we're going to do is we're going to lower it down in here. Just like so. And we're going to start it on low. And then what you want to do is you want to take your dry mixture and dump it down in there, but you want to dump it a little bit at a time, not all at once. Alright, we're getting a little buildup on the side, so let's turn our mixer off for a little bit of safety. Let's raise it up out of there. Let's mix this, push this down in here a little bit to where it can all mix up real well. Let that mix, we'll put the rest of our flour in. Okay, and now I'm going to put the rest of my flour in. Now remember, with your dough, if your dough looks a little dry, it's alright to add a little more water. If it looks a little wet, then add a little more flour. But it all balances out well. I'm going to kick this up 1 notch real quick, get it to move around a little better. Alright, it's been mixing about 6-7 minutes. It's starting to form a ball and pull away from the edges. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shut it down, unlock our side here, pull it up. It's all doughy. And I know that you might look at that and go, ah, that looks a little bit wet. But what you got to remember is when I pull it out of here, I'm going to put it on a bed of flour on my countertop, and that's going to dry it back in a little bit more, so just stick with me. What we've got right here is I've just got a little cup of all-purpose flour right there, and in this one here, it's just a little bit of avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you want to. And right here, this is a greased bowl I greased with avocado oil. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of my all-purpose flour, going to stick it out, just move it around a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come get my ball of dough, and yeah, nice and sticky. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in that flour, and I'm going to start bringing that flour up around it, pushing, rolling, pushing, and you just play with it. And what's going to happen is the more you play with it, the more it's going to get nice and smooth like a baboon ass. We just work together and fold it, push it down. Push it down now. Put it next to a Bob Ross happy little tree. Look at that. Don't that look nice? Don't that look nice? Just makes you want to play with it. But you don't want to overwork your dough. So what we got, we're going to put it in this ball shape. Let's make it like a little baby ass. We're going to take this brush and we're going to dip into our oil a little bit. We're going to come back and we're going to glaze that like an old bald man. Shine up that head. Going out looking for a woman. That's what's going to be happening. I could be the Bob Ross of cooking. Let me know what you think about that. And I'm not going to do the bottom because I've already greased my bowl. So I'm just going to set that down in there. I'm going to spin it around a little bit. Get that grease going on the bottom of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to leave this alone because the yeast ate the sugar. Now the yeast is going to get fat and gassy and going to get big, but it's going to take an hour to do it. So while this is rising, let's go make our toppings. And I forgot something. I forgot to tell you that you needed to cover it. Now you can cover it with cling wrap like I've got here, or you can use like some people use a damp towel, whatever. But you just want to make sure the opening's covered because that's going to get fat and gassy. All right, we've got our heated pan on the stove working. What I've got here is I've got a ½ pound of Italian sausage, and then I've got 1 pound of ground sirloin. Just going to dump it in our skillet. Start working it down a little bit. Shouldn't take long. All right, here we are. We have gave our dough an hour to get all fat and gassy. See, what's happened is we put that yeast into that warm water, and it really woke them up, and they really went after that sugar, and well, they ate a lot and passed gas. So just come in here and punch it down. Just you can hear it release. Okay, and we're going to just roll her up, get it out of this bowl, take it back to our flour. Put it in our flour a little bit, and press it down. Just get it coated with some flour real quick. Gonna bring my flour back. I'm gonna bring my roller in. I'm gonna douse it. Start working this out. Get this out of the way. bet you it is. And you can see about how thin I've rolled it out here. It's probably pretty good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a lid from my pan. I'm going to come in here, just twist it a little bit, lift it up. And that ain't going to do a damn thing, except give us a line to cut by. Shake off that stuff. Bring it over here. Just brush this pan right here. Vented pan's got the holes in it so the heat can come through. What we're gonna do is just give it a light coating. You don't wanna get too much there, because what that's gonna do is it's gonna soak up on the bottom of your dough and make it like soggy kinda. So, and then what I do is I come in here and I lay my dough out flat as possible. Kind of spread it on out. Just like so. Alright, here we are. What I did is I just took a little bit of butter, threw it in Chef Mike over there, melted it down a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this chunky garlic paste that comes in a tube, and I'm just going to give it a little shot. You don't want to be overbearing. See there? I mean, believe me, you're going to pick that garlic up. I'm just going to come down in here, and I'm going to just try to mix it up a little bit together like this. So take your brush, dip it in your garlic butter mix, and we're just going to coat the dough with it. You can be generous with it, but don't be overbearing with it. I mean, you don't want one flavor overpowering the other flavor too much. Now what we're going to do, that we got it all nice and coated, we're going to take it to our preheat. Okay, we're going to slide it in. Well, I'm going to put mine up here on the medium rack, and I'm going to leave that for only about 3-4 minutes. Alright, we're back here. Our meat's getting all mixed together, getting all browned up kind of nice. Fry it till as done as you want to. You need to remember it's going to cook a little more in the oven. Alright, you can see it browned it up a little bit. What I'm going to do is we're going to have a barbecue one, so I'm going to just spread out a little bit of the old barbecue sauce. Happy little design like that. I'm going to take a tablespoon, just move it around just like that. Keep up now, keep up. Spread it out to the very edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to our skillet here, our mixture of hamburger and beef, or hamburger and sausage. Looks good. Now let's spread it out. right, don't it? Now we're going to come back in with some pepperoni and start plating it. Use as much or as little topping as you want. Alright, now we're going to come back, get some shredded hops, just sprinkle it over it. Just touch more around the edge. That would be nice. Now look at that thing. Alright, we got all our toppings on there. Back to the middle rack she goes. Let's check in 5 minutes, see what we got. And it's finished. Like bada bing, bada boom, there it is. That just makes you want to slap your grandma. I don't care what anybody says. What I'm going to do though, we're going to cut it up because we're going to get to the best part of it. And that's devouring it. Look at it trying to get away because it knows. It knows. Cut them in a nice slice. Nice slice right here. Yeah. Make sure you cut all the way through too. Nobody wants you to grab that piece, the pizza, and have it be attached to the pizza next to it. But then, because you gotta take that piece too. That's I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So this is gonna be enough for the wife and I, our 6 hair children, and probably left over tomorrow. Who knows? We'll have to just see.